What a thrilling competition it has been here in Shanghai for this Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix. Thrilling conclusion. Scott Brash, our champion. But of course, it's all about the standings and the rankings over the season, because the best 8 results count for you for the end of the season. That it will really start to shape after London. But I'm delighted to say Edwina Alexander is with us after another rock-solid performance. That was such a good jump-off, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was an amazing jump-off. I don't really have the fastest horse, and it's been a while since I've been fast with him, but I got a bit stuck getting to the first fence, to be quite honest.
And, you weren't the only one, but you got away with it.
Look, they're very fast, the first 3. It was very hard for me today to be on the podium. Would have preferred to be 1 place higher, but it's good. He's in good shape, and I'm very happy with his performance. Well,
overall, the season, you must be happy that, you know, to be sitting at top. I know it's early stages, but the season feels like it's going well.
Yeah. So far, yes. I need some podium finishes, though. Otherwise, I'm not going to make it.
Well, what about when you look at what the final Scott and then Gilles? Frustrating for Gilles to miss out, but how did you assess Scott's round to win it?
Look, to be quite honest, it's a very new combination. She's a very, very fast horse. He's a very fast rider. They have an incredible connection. And it didn't surprise me at all that he was good. He's, for me, the only one probably that had a chance to beat Gilles. Gilles knows his horse very, very, very well. Maybe his horse stays a little more in the air, but, you know, it was so close. And maybe if Gilles was at the end, you never know.
Margins,
yes.
You know, you've been around, you know how close it can be. But when Scott gets the bit between the teeth, he's a tough man to beat, isn't he?
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, so what it means is you are top of the standings, presumably. That feels quite good, though, doesn't it?
It's a good start.
And do we see you in Madrid?
Unfortunately not. I won't be in Madrid, but I will definitely be in Cannes and Saint-Tropez.
Okay, well, fantastic. And we're getting ready for the presentation here. Let's take a look at the standings. Edwina, thank you very much. Well done today. 6th still feels all right, because it's put Edwina at the top of the standings as we get ready for the presentation. Hey, just take a look and confirm what is happening with regard to the standings ahead of our next round, which will be in Madrid. There it is, Edwina at the top. Then it is Gilles. Scott has had a major leap. I think he was about 20th coming into today, but he's now in 3rd spot. Mark Kosening, and then Dennis Lynch and Max Kuhner. That's your top 6. And now let's get ready for the podium presentation to Scott Brash.
General of the Chinese Equestrian Association, Mr. Jack Shea, the Vice President of Longines China, and Mr. Yan Tops, the President and Founder of the Longines Global Champions Tour and Co-Founder of the Global Champions League. Well, welcome to our presenting party.
Mr. Yan Tops, Founder and President of the Longines Global Champions Tour and the Global Champions League.
Next year will be the celebration. This is the 19th season of the Longines Global Champions Tour. We started back in 2006. And our podium.
We'd like to welcome the 3rd place winner.
It's been a stunning afternoon, and these 3 have been superstars. Eduardo Alvarez is 3rd. Legend 45.28 was the time, and his great run from last year continues into the new season. Legend is 3rd this afternoon in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Shanghai.
He won it here last year. He's 2nd in 2025.
The defending champion comes so close, just 0.17 of a second was the deficit. Stunning again from Gilles Thomas. Luna van het Denhoff, the reserve champion this year. The brand new Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix champion of Shanghai. It is Great Britain's Scott Brash who wins.
Great Britain, Scott Brash!
Lady Pauline Harris and Lady Pauline Kirkhams. Hello, Chidora Lady claims the big class in Shanghai this afternoon. 43.94 was the winning time.
Of the Great Britain.
And we stand for the national anthem of the winning nation, Great Britain. Congratulations, Scott Brash wins the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix of Shanghai. Stunning style. I had him billed as a favourite coming in, but there were many that could have taken the title, but Scott Brash's class shines through. And hello, short lady. Well, we are loving watching her, and they claim the massive class today.
有请上海90集团有限公司董事长郭建飞先生为季军颁发奖杯。Mr. 郭建飞 will present the trophy to the third place winner from Spain.
But that is where these huge classes are won and lost in these kind of a margin. And Eduardo Asnar, fourth last year in the season standings, has another brilliant finish on the Longines Global Champions Tour for third, with a legend for Spain.
有请上海市体育局局长徐斌先生向亚军颁发鲜花。We'd like to have Mr. Xu Bing to present bouquet to the second place
successive win
winner
here in Eastern China.
Belgium, Gilles Thomas.
And well, like the likes of Marcus Enning and the legends we know, what do you say about Scott Brash apart from simply brilliance?
有请上海市人民政府副秘书长、上海市浦东新区区长吴金城先生为亚军颁发奖杯。Please welcome Mr. Wu Jingcheng to present the trophy to the second place winner of Belgium, Gilles Thomas. 让我们再次把掌声送给 Gilles Thomas.
So well done to Gilles Thomas. He is a man that's attracted praise from even John Whittaker as being one that John looks to in the young generation. That's how he rides. That was the huge praise from John.
Vice President of Longines China, will present a Longines chronograph to the champion from the Great Britain.
Mr. Jack Shea, the Vice President of Longines China, awards the Longines timepiece to the champion.
有请上海市副市长谢东女士向冠军来自英国的 Scott Brash 颁发冠军奖杯和鲜花。
There'll be more Grand Prix wins coming to the Brits. I'm sure a lady is going to be a devastating partner because she's quick, she can turn. And well, Scott,
让我们再次恭喜
we wait and see. Well done to him this afternoon. There's your champion.
最后，我们有请浪琴环球马术冠军赛环球团体赛的创始人兼总裁杨拓普先生上台向3位选手表示祝贺。Mr. Yang Tops will now send his congratulations to the 3 winning riders.
Jan Tops, the president and founder of the Longines Global Champions Tour.
我们有请所有的颁奖嘉宾和我们的3位选手共同合影留念。Let's have a group photo.
It is a huge operation that Jan Tops pilots. It's an incredible organising team, and
感谢各位颁奖嘉宾，请回到我们的红毯区。
Photos go
Thank you,
globally
our trophy
to
presenters.
celebrate the
Please
British win
get back
here.
to the red carpet.
And 14 Grand Prix wins now that Scott has assembled. It's a
接下来就是我
mighty
们
number.
获胜选手的香槟时刻。
Bear in mind the
Now the
fact that
champagne
Ben has not won on
time.
the Longines Global Champions Tour. It just shows how hard it is to win one of these classes, and Scott Brash gets a faceful from Gilles Thomas and a hairful from Eduardo. And he'll take his revenge.
To the
The
top
crowd will get a
3,
little bit of dancing as well.
Gilles Thomas and Scott Brash. Champagne shower, everybody's favourite moment.
Well, our crowd have had
What
a
a
treat.
Grand Prix.
One of the greatest
And
things
what a
we've
week
had in
here
World
once
Show
again.
jumping. It's no
And the Longines
overstatement,
Global Champions
claims
Tour of
the third leg
Shanghai.
of this
Your
brand
top
new
3,
season.
Great Britain, Belgium and Spain.
They've got a new equine star for Scott, which is always a dangerous prospect for his challengers globally. And Gilles Thomas reminds us why he is so exciting in years to come.
接下来是属于我们优胜骑手的胜利骑乘时间。Now the time for the lap of honor of the 3
wins the
winning
Longines
riders.
Global Champions Tour. It's not based in Scotland now, down in the south of Great Britain. Always good to remember where Scott was from originally.
环球马术冠军赛最大的赢家。Congratulations once again to our 3 marvelous riders.
Yes, the top 3 getting back onto their horses. It's nearly time to give them one final cheer, one final salute, and say well done
So
to the
thank you to our
superstar
presenting
riders.
party. Thank you to
And the
Mr.
3
Jack Shea of
best horses
Longines,
in
the Vice
Grand
President.
Prix.
Thank you to
Hello,
Jan Tops
Shadora,
and the
Luna,
assembled
and
party.
Legend.
What a superb week we have enjoyed here. Thank you to the Vice Mayor of Shanghai, Mr. Ji Dong, Mr. Zhu Bin, Mr. Wu Jincheng, Mr. Zhao Jianfei.
The riders are ready.
Secretary General of the Chinese Equestrian Association, Mr. Zhong Wei. Thank you very much to our presenting party. So the winner's rosette will go to our crowd.
It's time to cheer, it's time to make some noise for the Grand Prix.
And Scott Brash heads off into the crowd now to celebrate aboard Hello Shadora Lady. Our congratulations, he wins the Longines Global Champions Tour of Shanghai, leg 3 of 2025. Gilles Thomas, the defending champion, is second. Edouard Asnar completes our podium. It's been a stunning week here in the east of China, and from myself, Ed Holloway, thank you for your company. We'll see you next time in Madrid. Goodbye from Shanghai.
Great Britain, Scott Brash.
Great scenes here in Shanghai. Scott Brash is being acclaimed as the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix winner 2025. And heartache for Gilles Thomas in second. But it was a jump-off masterclass from Scott Brash to take the title here because he was last to go. And right from the start, he found the necessary momentum. It was cool as you like, as he early on just took a good jump, and then it was really gathered momentum. But from this moment, this was the third fence, you began to sense that something was on for him to secure the title here. At the double, at the quarter few out, and then from here on, you were able to let the accelerator out and really start to push for home. And still just had to slightly check there, but he knew what he was doing. And it's from here on in, the crowd start to sense that Gilles Thomas's time was about to be overhauled. And as they came through to the final fence, there was a lot of tension in the air, but there it is, the victory. A magnificent exhibition of jump-off riding from Scott Brash to win here. Now, what does it mean in terms of the results? Let's just confirm that for you as we all start to take stock of what we've seen here in Shanghai, because he comes out 1, 2, 3. Gilles Thomas wasn't beaten by much if you look at the time. And here is the result of today's Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix, with Scott Brash out in front with that victory. It really was, as I say, a great performance. Gilles Thomas not beaten by much with that score of 44.11, really close. Then it was Eduardo Alvarez Aznar, 45.28 was his time. Then Andres, who had the difficulty of going first in this big jump off, 16 combinations through, 46.06. Then looking at some of the surprise packages there, Max Kuhner picking up 4 faults, but that is the 1, 2, 3. And looking at some of the other placings, Marcus Enning in third, but heartache for Gilles Thomas, because just missing it. And Gilles Thomas, and I think Scott Brash is on his way here, but first up, I think we might be heading off to hear from Gilles Thomas, who is with Dan down there just taking stock. And there is Scott. I think he's just, not surprisingly, having 1 or 2 photographs taken to record the memory. He'll be on his way here to talk, wiping the champagne from his eyes, because he got quite a dousing in the at the winners' podium as he comes round to join us here in the presentation area. And it really was an area is beaming away as he walks up the steps. Carrying the, we've got Floss carrying the trophy for him as they come round here to make their way in to as he comes round, and what a trophy it is. As here it is coming into the studio, and Scott coming to join me. Oh, I can smell it from here. Scott, Scott, I'm going to give you that. Oh God, that's soaking. Oh, that was a proper drenching you got there, wasn't it?
Yeah. I couldn't get it open in time.
Yeah. Well, it's a magnificent trophy too, wasn't it? And that seems to be full of champagne too. But Scott, for you, you were last to go, which was always going to be a little bit of advantage. But I tell you what, Gilles threw it down to you, didn't he, with that time of 44.11?
Yeah, I managed to watch Gilles' round actually because I knew he was one of the favourites in the jump off, and I thought he'd done a fantastic round. And I already knew I was going to maybe do one more stride in him to the last jump, maybe one more stride somewhere else, but I'm very confident how fast my mare is. She's really quick, so I thought if I can keep the rest smooth, then it would be close.
It's actually the early part of the jump-off course was quite twisty, and that's where one or two people were just finding a few problems. How did you make sure that your horse was just going to avoid that, because having seen what had gone before?
Yeah, right turn sometimes isn't our best turn, and two being an oxer, I wanted to jump across the jump, so I was a little bit aware of that, and I felt like I got a little bit stuck 1 to 2 actually. I thought I lost a touch of time 1 to 2, but then very good back on the vertical number 3, and then kept the rest as I wanted, and thankfully it was enough in the end.
And after the double, you can sort of slightly, it's pedal to the metal, wasn't it?
Yeah, but it's still, you've got to be tight on the wall, and it's a little bit of a steady 5, and then started to jump the last, you know. It was a long run to that tall vertical at the end, so. But she was amazing. She was absolutely
and two-tenths of a second. Does that feel like a chasm, or as when you looked up at the scoreboard, did you think you'd done enough?
Listen, you never know until you're in the green. You know? But yeah, just Shadora was absolutely fantastic. She's such a quick mare. She loves it. She just wants at the jump, and I've just got to control that a little bit, and she wants to win as much as me. And
well, it's been a really good weekend for you, but you know, to win here, the crowd, they definitely they get into it, don't they? That was, you could feel that they were riding every step of the way.
Yeah, they're very enthusiastic crowds, so it's nice to ride in front of a crowd like that.
As you say, this horse of yours, you've had so many good horses, but she's right up there, and what she gives for you so often.
Yeah, exactly, Rupert. That's exactly what she does. She gives her heart for you, you know, and she's such a beautiful mare to work with, you know, even not in the ring around the stables and stuff. She's just such a lovely character, and one of the nicest mares I've ever worked with, really.
Well, given that's praise indeed. And coming here, just how much have you enjoyed the experience and the way they look up the horses? There's no stone left unturned, is there?
Yeah, it's amazing. This stadium is absolutely fantastic. Facilities for the horses, really incredible. So yeah, it was a pleasure to jump here.
You can't beat that winning feeling, can you?
No, you can't.
When you're looking at this field, you think, oh, I feel good again, you know, because I mean, you've won so many big prizes, but just to keep having it, it's the oxygen that keeps you going, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's like a drug, you know. You want to keep winning. You love the feeling of winning, and I love the feeling of bringing a top horse to show the world how good they are, you know. Horses are amazing animals and what they do for us, and it's just great to get the results they deserve.
Got some excess baggage planned for this trophy? Because this is what are you going to do with this? Well, that's another big trophy to put there. Yeah. But that's fantastic. Well, Scott, always a pleasure to see you winning. This is my first Global Champions Tour, and you go and win it. Well, there you go. So I better do more of these next time I see you. But well done today. But that was such a good competition. You've had a great week, and I'm sure you'll find some way of celebrating. But I think you may want to change your clothes first.
Definitely.
Because I can tell you what, it's well, I feel drunk already, but anyway, there we go. Scott, many thanks, many congratulations. Magnificent trophy that Scott has won. And now, let's just confirm. I think you might have to sign some autographs, Scott, because they're all waiting for you. Let's just confirm the rankings here in the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix Series. Look at them all behind there. I don't know whether you can see. It's absolutely bedlam here. Let's take a look at the standings here in after this round 3 here in Shanghai. And there will be plenty of people probably wanting, but it's Edwina Tobbs-Alexander who leads the pack. But of course, it's early stages. Gilles Thomas with that second spot here. He's now in second. Scott Prash catapulting up the leaderboard. But now, we've heard from Scott. Let's now go and hear from, I'm sure, a slightly disappointed Gilles Thomas, who's with Dan.
Gilles, disappointment, yes. You were so close to back-to-back wins here in Shanghai, but you really can't argue with the round that won it.
Yeah, it was a very fast jump-off. We were with 16 in the jump-off. And actually I got a very good round in the jump-off with my mare Luna. So at the end I did my job. I think I didn't really could do more. So I'm happy because it was the highest place possible today.
Luna is something special. She lit up again for you in the jump-off. Just talk through to people what it's like to ride a horse of that quality.
Yeah, she's super careful. So you always need to make it easy as a rider. And then for sure the jump-off, when she can come in a bit more rhythm, then she even jumps better. So she doesn't really like to hold her too much. So just let her go that she likes the most. And that I tried today in the jump-off as well.
Obviously not the golden ticket from here in Shanghai that you got last year, but in terms of the season, you're now up to second in the standings just behind Edwina Tobbs-Alexander. How much of a consolation is that? Yeah, it's a nice extra. We are only 3 stages left, so very early in the season. But with Hermitage and Luna, I have 2 very good horses. So let's see what the rest of the season brings. Going to Madrid? Yes, I will be there. Best of luck there and well done here. Thank you.
Well, commiserations to Gilles, because that was a very gallant defence of his title. But it's Scott Brash who's going home with this wonderful trophy. I hope he hasn't forgotten it. I'm not sure I've got the excess baggage for that, but certainly well done to Scott. That's the trophy that he's taking home after his fabulous victory here in Shanghai, the Longines Global Champions Tour Grand Prix winner 2025. As you can sense from Gilles' voice, a sense of disappointment, but it was such a brave effort. But I suppose if you're going to lose to anyone, you might as well lose to one of the best in the jump-off, Scott Brash. But the next, as he alluded to, we're off to Madrid in a couple of weeks' time. That's the next port of call for the Global Champions Tour Roadshow. Should be a fabulous weekend there in one of the great venues for equestrian sport. The Spanish crowd will be out in their hundreds and thousands, hundreds to enjoy the action as we reconvene, as I say, in 2 weeks' time. They'll be battling for more trophies, more honours, but Madrid it is in 2 weeks' time. I tell you what, we've had the most wonderful weekend here in Shanghai. Great sport throughout, but in the end, a magnificent winner of our Grand Prix. Hope you've enjoyed our coverage from Shanghai.
Madrid, a city where passion for show jumping runs deep. A legendary stage where history is made and dreams take flight. With a vibrant crowd fueling every moment, the anticipation is electric. No Spanish rider has ever claimed victory in the home Grand Prix. Will this be the year? Experience the Longines Global Champions Tour of Madrid from May 16th to the 18th.